all together.
Hello, and welcome to Covert Castaway. I'm Holly.
Je suis Stéphane.
Join us as we share what we learn and how we're making the transition to liveaboard cruising. Happy New Year, everybody, and
Bonne année.
Bonne année, and welcome to season 6. So we're starting season 6 now, which is exciting. Can you believe we've been doing this a while?
There was pre-cruising.
Yeah.
But yeah, 6 seasons. That's awesome.
Yeah, pretty cool. So we wanted to give everybody an update on what's going on with the boat. We just posted some new pictures that were sent to us from Outremer. And it looks like the carbon bulkheads are in.
Yeah, I mean, they send pictures every week, every Friday. So that's super cool because that's something to look forward to. And now it's the whole structure of the boat is in. So my understanding is they have to let it cure and sit there in the mold. But the next step is take off.
It comes out.
Yeah, it comes out.
But what's
the mold.
weird about the pictures is does the boat look big or are the people little? It's weird. It's like a weird angles, because when they take wide angle, you never really know how big things are.
Yeah, I think it's combination of the picture and the fact there is no floor. So now you see the whole hull.
Yeah.
But it looks humongous.
It looks really big.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. You guys look at the pictures and check it out on Facebook or Instagram. But it's just, it needs a warning, like objects appear bigger than they are or people appear smaller. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a really weird thing. But it's cool to kind of see how it's starting to come together. And then we know the people who have hull number 1 and they're actually have pictures of what the kitchen's going to look like and everything. So it's really coming together.
Yeah, hull number 1 will be on display at the multi-hull boat show, catamaran boat show. I forget the exact name. It's in La Grande Motte in April.
Yeah.
So that will be.
That was the one we went to this past year,
yeah.
right? Yeah. So
that
cool.
will be the first time the Outremer 52 is on display at the boat show. So
Super
we won't be there, unfortunately, but that'll be fun to see. I guess some coverage, media coverage, video,
or even just the
pictures.
pictures would be awesome.
Yeah, because what we've seen is all computer drawings. So next pictures, I guess, will be like in the real boat in the water.
Yeah. So you've made some decisions on your sail plan.
Did I?
Our sail plan.
We did. Well, we had the flat sails. The decisions had been made a long time ago. And then we needed to finalize the downwind sails. How many sails, how much. So there was a lot of back and forth to try to make sure we make the right decision. That was pretty easy to get an A2, an asymmetrical spinnaker, a big one. And that will be useful when we want to go downwind in light air. But then we had a big gap between the Genoa and then the A2 will be for light air, but we had a big gap between the Genoa and sailing downwind in strong winds. And so we ended up selecting a code 65, a really nice one, meaning really expensive too. So that was like a difficult decision, but we made the decision. And what's funny, so we feel pretty good.
What's a code 65? Maybe you should explain that.
On a simple level, I mean, we have a Genoa, so we'll probably be able to sail to 90 degree to the wind. But after that, it's the Genoa becomes not very great to trim. So obviously, ideally, you need more sails, but we need to control the amount of sails and the budget. So this code 65 seems to be the best sail to almost do some reaching with it and to sail pretty well. Our goal has been to sail downwind angles, not dead downwind, And so this sail will allow us to do that, but it has a pretty wide range of sailing angle. So we hope that's will happen to be true. And at night during squalls, and if we want to sail angles, these sails will be like plenty strong and everything to keep it up and sail downwind like this. But now it's interesting because you go through making decisions, and then your decision making, or your kind of things we said from the beginning. Okay, we're not going to sail with a symmetrical spinnaker and dead downwind. That's what we would have done with our Fountain Peugeot 747. We have a performance boat, and we're going to sail it like a performance boat, how it's intended. But the Utome happened to sail really well, also dead downwind. A lot of people cross the ocean with a symmetrical spinnaker. So that's not our primary goal. But now that we have this beautiful Code 65 and expensive Code 65, and at times it might be good to have a cheaper sail, like a symmetrical spinnaker, where in some condition, based on the sea state and stuff, it might be good. So right now, we haven't made that call. We're going to sail this summer with our sails, and then we'll make a decision. But it will be a much cheaper sail. So obviously, when you cross oceans, you put a lot of wear and tear, a lot of hours on your sail plan. So now that you want to kind of sit that Code 65.
Steve, I have to work with people. This is
so anyway, it's always interesting to have these conversations, and so that's where we're at with the sail plan. At least we're going with so we have to obviously we're going with Old North sail plan. So that goes from the main, the staysail, the Genoa, the Code 65, and the A2. Those are our sails at the moment. What else have we?
Well, we've been up to a lot of snow. We've had a lot of snowfall here since. So we got back. We spent Christmas with our family in San Francisco, and then we came back up here. And since I think it's like 10 or 11 straight days of shoveling snow, which is an awesome hit class. Mm-hmm. That's been really great.
Yeah,
at altitude 7,500. feet up. But the weather here in California has been nuts. California, Nevada, Sierra has been kind of crazy with all of these.
Along the coast, they've had a lot of, obviously, storms before it comes to us. They get it over there. A lot of rain, a lot of flooding. So it's pretty bad that it's coming all at once, but it's also pretty good because we've been in a drought for now a few years.
It'll be nice to have the water.
So the reservoirs are going to start to fill up, and the snowpack, when it will melt, will also fill that up. So it's great for skiing. It's also a lot of work for the people here.
Yeah, it's really bad, the snow and the storms, when the ski resorts are snowed in. They're been completely buried, trying to dig out the chairlifts and all of those things.
And we got a major snowstorm with like rain and freezing, and then snow after that, and so all the equipment is frozen. And that was over like New Year's Eve, New Year. So those guys have been around the clock. Mm-hmm. And then power's
cuts. Gone out. Yeah.
So they had those issues, and we've been lucky so far. So
yeah. So we've been doing that, which is makes for a great environment for me for writing. So I've been trying to finish up this book I've been working on that maybe one or two people will read at some point. Mm-hmm. So that's been something. And then gearing up a little bit here and starting the new year with.
You mention what type of book?
Oh, it's a business book. No one cares here, but the thing that's been really cool too is I've been helping this company, and in Australia, and it's really fun and awesome, and we're gearing back up for the year, and so we're going to head back to Australia, it looks like, here in a few weeks. That's exciting.
From winter to summer.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And Melbourne's interesting because you think, oh, it's Australia, it's going to be hot, and it's this weird Could be hot, could be cold. You don't really know.
Oh, at that time, I haven't checked lately, but
No, it's been up and down though. It's been up and down.
Still?
Yeah, I've been talking to people. Yeah.
Interesting.
So before we go on to talking about our upcoming year and the full plan, why don't we hear about your new job?
Job of jobs.
He's taken on the role of Sailing Alwyn's social media maven. You've been up to a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, our goal has always been to share our adventure. That's the purpose of those podcasts, the blogs, sharing information on Facebook, Instagram. We've benefited from others who've been there before us, and we enjoy sharing and helping other people, hopefully. And at the same time, the other goal has been building community. So meet people through this kind of social media format. Yeah. So we keep on evolving around this. So recently we created a Facebook group called the Sailing Alwyn Private Group. If I got that right,
Yeah.
And so if you go, it's private in the sense that once you're in, only the members know who the members are. And but you can find the group by searching it, or send us an email or something, and we'll send you an invite. The goal of this private group is to unite basically fellow cruisers, liveaboards, and have more in-depth conversations on some topics.
And debates, there's things to talk about. And you've been busy making some blogs, too, on...
So our group, that's one thing. And so creating some blogs about all the research we've done and decisions we've made for Automera 52. So trying to put this into words. So, again, to share with other people. So some started with some blogs around there is a new Iridium Go coming out, which hasn't been announced yet. So that's something we're definitely looking forward to make a switch from the old one we had on our previous boat to this new model because it's higher bandwidth.
If we can get it, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the hope. But Starlink, we're not getting Starlink at the moment, but we've obviously done some research and been following this. And the Starlink website is very confusing, and so created a blog with a table basically comparing the different Starlink options. So we've been working on how we're going to terminate our Google Fi account.
Yeah, finally, I think it's gotten worse. I mean, it's really, we're barely getting any coverage here. It's so bad. Everybody also have 4 bars. We'll be like, where's the signal?
Yeah, our friends and family, like they all have same phones and they have like great coverage and it seems like totally silly and we're paying way too much money for this type of service. And we work with them and there is no improvement. So we've been looking at the next cellular coverage we're going to get so that we have a blog that will be coming out shortly.
It doesn't seem like a big deal because we're here, but why are you talking about cellular coverage? Because it kind of matters who you go with. If you go international and you need to make international calls, and we're going to be traveling again a lot this year. So that international capability and how we get set up to actually get some kind of coverage on our boat. Anyway, it's covered in the blog around communication.
Yeah, the main
and
thing
Wi-Fi.
To kind of be aware is all those, and we're talking about US cell phone companies, but I will assume that's true for others. You pay for a fee and to use their network, and they allow you to travel abroad as a regular tourist and basically do roaming. But they don't want you to be doing roaming for
a long period of time, like
a year or so.
Always roaming.
So, yeah, because it probably costs them money. And so they basically cut you off. And the first season with Google Fi, I got lucky, didn't get cut off. Last year I did. So suddenly, like, you cannot, you don't have access to the cellular network abroad. And then until you come back to the US. And that's true for T-Mobile, even if it's an international company, after a couple of months, they put it that they will cut you off as well. So yeah, since we were like liveaboards and traveling a lot, that's not a good solution to pay a lot of money to be cut off at some point. So we're looking for something cheaper, better.
But you did a good blog on it on our sailingowen.com. So if people want to check that out, you can talk.
It's not live yet because we're going to switch. We're kind of working through everything, switch, and then we'll write why we switch.
Then you're up there.
And,
okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So,
and then just also if we have Outre-mer listeners, so we've created another Facebook group for Outre-mer owners only. We're planning to cross the Atlantic this year in either direction. So right now it looks like we have 15 Outre-mers, about 15 Outre-mer boats that will be crossing from the Canaries to the Caribbean towards the end of the year. So some will join the rally, like the Arc Plus, or another rally. Some others won't. Will do it outside of a rally. So it'll be fun. Hopefully, we can get a group of a mini Outre-mer rally to cross the Atlantic sometime later this year. So kind of excited about getting this mini community together. Yeah. So
you've been busy on
kind
a lot of
doing marketing jobs.
Yeah, I guess you are. Exactly. So we've been kind of gearing up for this year. It's one thing about being home is you realize how much admin stuff you have to deal with. And good thing is it all kind of comes together this time of year. Seems like we have to look back at medical insurance again this time of year. We are not happy at all with our Cigna Global plan, which was what we originally sort of settled on for our international medical insurance. So looking at that. And then just everything else you have to sort of deal with administratively.
U.S. problems, yeah,
at home. And then I need to get a visa for Europe again, and there's all that. And then they take your passport. So I need my passport because I'm going to Australia and So,
last year we had similar problems, but your passport was about to
I had
expire,
to get a new passport. So anyway, it should be a little bit easier, but it's still all this stuff. So we're excited because we'll be in May for Outre-mer Week again, which is great training.
Well, before that, so February, March, April-ish, we'll be in Australia, which I mentioned. Yeah. But the idea would be, there's some unknowns about how long that's going to last. But the idea and the thinking, though, is in May, we'll be in Outre-mer Week for a couple weeks in Le Grand Mont. Well, you're going fast. Like you'll be back in Tao for a short period of time. We don't know yet how much time. And then fly to France, from mid-May to end of May. So we have to move our personal stuff that is at my parents' house in Brittany. We have to move it down to La Grande Motte, put it in storage until we get the keys of the boat. So that will be one big thing. Then we have Outre-mer Week. So we have the big one is the medical training. We haven't been able to do.
That's the big one, yeah.
I think we've done all the other training. Well, maybe not you because you've focused a lot on the sailing part.
Well, I'm going to continue to do that. I need to make sure I'm really comfortable on the boat. And, this will be our third?
Official,
third official Outre-mer. And so the training I will have had 3-4 weeks, if you add all the time up between and before and after, on the boats, which is really good practical sailing on these boats. So I'm getting more confident. So that's really good. And then June, July are a little bit up in the air in terms of, will you go and then I'll work here or...
meaning... Like right now, what we're talking about is will I stay the month of June and July in France? Because we have to also buy some other stuff that are like outside of the Outre-mer list of things to provision the boat.
Yeah, just like basic things.
Well, not so basics. Yeah.
The headsets and, there's...
Well, there's that. There is like the standard paddleboard. There is all kind of stuff that you need to buy that was sold with the other boat. And so we need to buy those things. And so once we get the keys, we can load everything on the boat. So when the boat will be put in the water at the end of May, so you don't have. We don't have access to the boat until the delivery. But to be there might be also good to know kind of what's going on and maybe give some updates to listeners and be able to maybe go out on the boat when they do the test sails or they configure the electronics or something. So that's something I might stay. It's complicated now to stay in La Grande Motte, especially in July, because it's like the
really
high season, lots of tourists there. So to find a place to stay is kind of nuts. So anyway, we need to finalize that. And then once we get the keys of the boat at the end of July, then our focus is going to be on shakedown. So that'll be August, September, October, 3 months, knowing that we'll have to come back to La Grande Motte and we'll probably have to spend some time in La Grande Motte. So at a minimum, we definitely want to do a trip to Tunisia. The first goal being to do a more of a longer passage to really push and test the boat, and then come back to La Grande Motte and then no later than mid-November start heading west to Gibraltar, to the Canaries, and then cross the Atlantic Ocean in December.
I think we covered this in the last podcast, just kind of the general plan of the crossing this time next year. But we'll see how it goes, right? Like we don't know what's going to happen.
But we have mostly our year mapped out. Kind of last year was the same thing. It's funny when you put it in a timeline and you're like, okay. And we mostly stuck to it, except we had to come back to the US.
Yeah.
But the rest was like all lined up, and it looks like it's going to be the same this year.
Yeah. There's some unknowns here and there and work-wise and stuff. But, all in all, I think I'm really looking forward to August. When we have possession of the boat and we can really, learn how it is and, see what it's like again, living on it and being on a boat again. So, and it's kind of interesting because there's a lot of other people, it seems, who are between boats or getting ready to get their boats. The O'Kellys, for instance, they're the Winds, there a lot of people are sort of between boats or getting ready to get their boat. So I can definitely relate to that when I watch their videos, La Vagabond, etc., Ruby Rose. Everybody's sort of in the same spot. Mm-hmm. So it feels kind of weird to talk about all these land things on a sailing podcast versus like being on a boat.
The O'Kellys, who we met in Melbourne, are definitely very close to getting their new boat. I know. So excited for them. Really excited for them.
I think they're really excited to get back on a boat too.
Yeah.
Cool. So anything else we need to cover?
That's, I think, a good overview of what we've been up to and what we're looking forward to.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, as always, shoot us a note at SailingAlwyn@gmail.com. Check out our blog, or you can also check out some of these new groups that Stefan's been working on and some blogs he's been working on. And fair winds for now.
Bon vent.
Thank you for listening. If you like this podcast, please subscribe, like, or share with another Covert Castaway. Fair winds for now.